This is CNN Breaking News.
Welcome to you viewers in the United States and around the world. This is New Day. Donald Trump will be the 45th president of the United States, the president-elect, pulling off a stunning upset over Hillary Clinton. 289 electoral votes at last count. 3 states still too close to call, but they won't change the outcome for Clinton. They could expand the mandate for Trump, the billionaire businessman, now facing the daunting task of uniting a very divided nation. Here are some of his first words as president-elect.
I've just received a call from Secretary Clinton. She congratulated us. It's about us on our victory. And I congratulated her and her family on a very, very hard-fought campaign. I mean, she fought very hard.
All right, so as you heard, Hillary Clinton conceded the race to Donald Trump. She did not speak publicly last night, but she is expected to speak now within hours. President Obama called Donald Trump to congratulate him, and the two will meet at some point this week. Republicans will maintain control of the U.S. Senate and the House of Representatives. Markets around the world are in turmoil at this hour over Donald Trump's astonishing victory. We have the best political team in the business covering it all for you. So let's begin with John Berman to break down the numbers of how we got here. John.
All right, good morning, Allison. As of roughly 7 a.m. this morning, we have a new president-elect. That is Donald J. Trump. As of now, he's got 289 electoral votes at least. Hillary Clinton with 218. There are still a few states that we have yet to call. Look at this. Michigan, Minnesota, New Hampshire, and Michigan. You know, Donald Trump 15,000 votes ahead, 42,000 votes for Hillary Clinton in Minnesota. And if we can look at New Hampshire, this is a big wow. New Hampshire, just 307 votes separate the two. We're not going to call these races anytime soon. We're going to wait for the secretaries of state of these states to tell us what happened because they don't change the outcome here. Donald Trump is the president-elect. Hillary Clinton with only 218 electoral votes. The big story, the blue wall, her blue wall, crumbled. Donald Trump picked up wins in Wisconsin and Pennsylvania. No Republican has won in Pennsylvania since 1988. No Republicans won in Wisconsin since Ronald Reagan. Hillary Clinton, she didn't even go there after the convention. They thought they had it in the bag. One of the other big surprises in this slew of surprises overnight, Donald Trump had coattails for members of Congress. Republicans will keep control of the Senate. They have at least 51 seats. Pence doesn't need to break any ties. They have the majority. And in the House of Representatives, Republicans also, they are still in charge. Democrats pick up 6 seats. You look at that and say, hey, they had a good night. No way. Democrats were hoping they would get double-digit gains, maybe as much as 20 or more. That did not happen. Donald Trump helped sweep some Republicans into power, including at least some who did not support him. Again, we're going to get more numbers throughout the morning. We will give them to you as they come in. Allison?
All right. Thanks so much, John.
All right. Donald Trump addressing the nation for the first time as president-elect. It was just before 3 o'clock in the morning. He started off positive, and he stayed there. He was conciliatory towards Hillary Clinton. He didn't mention putting her on trial, as he did all through the election. And he said it is time for unity, and that it's only history when he does a great job. Here.
I've just received a call from Secretary Clinton. She congratulated us. It's about us on our victory. And I congratulated her and her family on a very, very hard-fought campaign. I mean, she fought very hard. Hillary has worked very long and very hard over a long period of time, and we owe her a major debt of gratitude for her service to our country. I mean that very sincerely. Now it's time for America to bind the wounds of division. We have to get together. To all Republicans and Democrats and independents across this nation, I say it is time for us to come together as one united people. It's time. I pledge to every citizen of our land that I will be president for all Americans, and this is so important to me. For those who have chosen not to support me in the past, of which there were a few people, I'm reaching out to you for your guidance and your help so that we can work together and unify our great country.
All right, we want to go now to CNN's Sarah Murray. She is live at Trump Tower, as she has been for hours. It's in New York, of course, to tell us what the scene is and what is next for President-elect Trump.
Well, good morning. Look, Donald Trump promised a political revolution, and it took him till the very wee hours of this morning to deliver on it, but he certainly did. And now is the moment for the Trump team to really kind of regroup. It does appear, though, that Donald Trump is getting an early start to his day, or at least his Twitter account's been fired up. I want to show you what he's tweeting so far this morning. Such a beautiful and important evening. The forgotten man and woman will never be forgotten again. We will all come together as never before. And of course, Donald Trump is going to have a pretty long to-do list today. Now that he is the president-elect, he has to turn to his transition planning, turn to building a cabinet. And we're told that Donald Trump really didn't engage in these conversations very much leading up to this. He really wanted to focus on the campaign, on the task at hand, and he kind of didn't want to jinx himself by planning ahead. Obviously, the time for that is coming to a close, and there may be no bigger sign of that than the potential of a Donald Trump, President Barack Obama meeting coming up this week. Obviously, we've seen this in the past, sort of the peaceful transition of power. We're expecting that to happen yet again, but these are two men who have exchanged barbed words on the campaign trail. President Obama made it clear when he was campaigning for Hillary Clinton that he didn't just dislike Donald Trump, he was fearful of him leading the country. So obviously the meeting between the two of them, whenever that is finally set, will be very interesting to watch. Back to you guys.
Well, especially interesting, Sarah, because we're used to seeing the two sides come together, but not after a race like this. This was not ordinary. This was deep. This was about hate, and it was real. Now, on the other side of this coin was Hillary Clinton. She conceded in a phone call. She did not address the American people last night, but we understand she will soon. CNN's Jeff Zeleny has more on that. What do we know?
Hey, good morning, guys. Hillary Clinton is scheduled to give her formal concession speech later this morning, a speech she did not expect to be giving. Her campaign and the entire political establishment simply did not see this coming. Now, thousands of her supporters were shell-shocked early this morning as they left the Javits Center here in Manhattan at what her campaign planned to be a victory party last night that turned into anything but. She decided against giving that concession speech last night as the votes came in, hoping her blue wall across Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania would save her candidacy. When that didn't happen, it was after 2 o'clock in the morning, and aides said she wanted to give a more thoughtful speech. So her campaign chairman, John Podesta, addressed supporters overnight, saying she would wait until all the votes were counted. But it quickly became clear that wasn't enough, so she conceded in that brief phone call to Donald Trump. But her campaign, all Democrats, Republicans, the media didn't see it coming. This is a repudiation of her and her biggest partner on the campaign trail, President Obama. And she was unabashedly running for his third term. I am told that her speech this morning will be focused on trying to heal the nation. Her advisors said it's not time for finger-pointing, but there are so many questions this morning on her side of the aisle. Did she not campaign enough? Why didn't she visit Wisconsin? Did that private email server sink her candidacy? Or was this simply a change election from the very beginning that her advisors miscalculated?
Jeff, it will be so interesting to hear from her and hopefully healing for all of the Democrats who are sort of very disoriented.
Some division, I think, as well as some healing maybe before that healing.
Yes, good point. Jeff, thanks so much. So global markets are down sharply on the news of Donald Trump's victory. How will U.S. markets open today? CNN business correspondent Allison Kosik is live at the New York Stock Exchange with more. What do you predict, Allison?
Good morning, Allison. I would say when markets open in a couple hours, I would say buckle up. We are seeing Dow futures down as much as 370 points. Believe it or not, that is an improvement because overnight, as those returns came in, we saw the Dow down almost 800 points. But at this moment, as I said, down about 370 points. The NASDAQ and the S&P 500 down about 2 to 2.6%. Globally, as you said, yes, global markets are feeling the impact of this win for Donald Trump. We are even seeing the Mexican peso, which really became a barometer during Trump's candidacy. It's down sharply against the dollar. That's because there is big concern about Trump's trade policies and his protectionist sentiment.